In medieval Europe, in a small village nestled at the foot of the Black Castle, a secret was being kept. The Black Castle, the refuge of the scholar and wizard Emmerich, was the site of mysterious experiments. Emmerich was always haunted by the idea of creating a creature of extraordinary power, a fusion of man and beast. After many years of research, he created a werewolf in his laboratory. However, this monster was not easy to control. It escaped from the castle and began to spread terror among the villagers. Every full moon night, the growls and screams echoed throughout the village. The villagers lived in fear, not daring to leave their homes as night fell. In a modern era, hundreds of years away from the village and the Black Castle, two young detectives, Ilara and Lucian, heard the story of the werewolf and decided to travel back in time to investigate. They used a timepiece they found in an antique shop. Upon arriving in the village, Ilara and Lucian posed as hunters from distant lands. They began their investigation by conversing with the locals and gathering information. An old man named Alaric told them about the Black Castle and the scholar Emmerich. Alaric revealed that Emmerich had disappeared after the werewolf escaped, and no one knew where he had gone. Ilara and Lucian decided to visit the Black Castle for further investigation. They discovered a secret laboratory underground, containing Emmerich's notes and formulas. There, they found a diary detailing the process of creating the werewolf and how to control it. They realized that only Emmerich knew how to defeat the werewolf. So, they decided to search for Emmerich. After several days of searching, they found that Emmerich had become a hermit, living in seclusion in a deep forest cave. Upon meeting Emmerich, he told them about the mistake he had made and how to defeat the werewolf. Emmerich revealed that only a special herb called silver leaf could weaken the werewolf. With Emmerich's help, Ilara and Lucian collected enough silver leaf and made a potion. They used it to defeat the werewolf and free the villagers. After completing their mission, Ilara and Lucian returned to their time, carrying with them precious memories and lessons from their journey. When Ilara and Lucian returned to their time, they didn't expect that their changes to the past would have unforeseen consequences. Instead of returning to a familiar world, they found a completely different one, where the Black Castle was the center of a powerful empire, ruled by a ruthless king, the very werewolf they had defeated. In this new world, Emmerich was no longer a weak scholar but a powerful sorcerer who used the werewolf's power to create an invincible army. Ilara and Lucian were pursued, being seen as enemies of the empire. While evading capture, they accidentally met a group of people living in hiding in the forest, called the Time Guardians. This group knew about the timepiece and helped Ilara and Lucian understand its power and responsibility. They warned the two detectives that changing the past could have unpredictable consequences. To restore the world, Ilara and Lucian decided to go back to the time before they defeated the werewolf, but this time, they had to prevent Emmerich from creating the werewolf. They discovered that during his experiments, Emmerich used a magical gemstone. To stop Emmerich, they needed to find and destroy this stone. On their quest to find the stone, Ilara and Lucian faced many challenges. They confronted formidable enemies, unresolved mysteries, and difficult choices. But with intelligence, courage, and determination, they finally found the stone and destroyed it, stopping Emmerich and restoring the world. When everything returned to normal, Ilara and Lucian realized that power not only comes from extraordinary abilities but also from courage, love, and compassion. They decided to keep the timepiece as a memento, reminding them of the valuable lessons they had learned. But they also knew that every time the timepiece vibrated, a new mystery would emerge, and they would have to face it. As Ilara and Lucian settled back into their own time, they began to notice subtle discrepancies in the world around them. The streets looked different, the architecture was slightly altered, and even the language people spoke had evolved in unexpected ways. One evening, while they were discussing their adventures at a local cafe, an elderly man approached them. "You two seem familiar," he said, his eyes clouded with age but sharp with recognition. "Have we met before?" Ilara and Lucian exchanged a glance. "I don't believe so," Lucian replied cautiously. The man chuckled, "But we have. In another time, another place. You might not recognize me, but I remember you both. I am Alaric." Ilara's eyes widened in shock. "But, you were much younger when we met you. How?"
Alaric smiled. The mysteries of time travel. When you changed the past, you altered the course of many lives, including mine. I lived through the changes you made, and my life took a different path." Lucian leaned forward, intrigued. "But how do you remember the original timeline?" Alaric sighed. "That's the paradox of predestination. While you can change events in the past, some threads of memory remain intact, especially for those closely involved. It's a phenomenon not fully understood, even by the greatest physicists." Ilara pondered this. "So, by changing the past, we've created an alternate reality." Alaric nodded. "Precisely. And in this reality, the consequences of your actions have rippled through time. The werewolf, the empire, Emmerich's transformation, all these events have shaped the world in ways you can't even begin to fathom." Lucian looked troubled. "But if that's the case, how can we be sure we've done the right thing? Every time we change something, aren't we risking even greater dangers?" Alaric smiled gently. "That's the philosophical dilemma of time travel. Can we ever truly know the consequences of our actions? And if we can change the past, should we?" Ilara looked down, lost in thought. "We wanted to help, to make things better. But now I wonder if we've done more harm than good." Alaric placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "The threads of time are complex and intertwined. Perhaps in one reality, your actions led to chaos. But in another, they might have brought about peace and prosperity. The key is to learn from each journey and strive to make the best choices with the knowledge you have." Lucian looked at the timepiece, its hands ticking away steadily. "Time is both our ally and our enemy. But one thing's for sure, we have a responsibility to use this power wisely." As the night deepened, the three of them delved deeper into discussions about the nature of time, the intricacies of physics, and the moral implications of their actions. The cafe around them faded into the background, as they journeyed through the realms of possibility, guided only by their curiosity and the ever-ticking hands of the timepiece.